We are back for part 2, and we just learned that this family endured over 7 hours of just horrendous things. By the end of all of this, William was the only one that made it out, and he was alive. Joshua and Hayes went to trial separately. They thought that maybe this would give them a better chance. Now, this case was a huge discussion of the D penalty because a lot of the community wanted to see that happen. But yet, there was a lot of discussion whether life was also a possibility. They were sentenced to the D penalty, but laws changed in Cheshire and in Connecticut, and so they ended up getting life. The dad, William, went on to talk a lot about the laws. He talked a lot about advocacy and did a lot of advocacy work to spread his foundation, who was after the girls and his wife, and he really did a lot of help in the community. The Petit Family home was made into a memorial, and I think that's probably for the best. So this starts our discussion on the awful things that they did to this family. Why? What possessed these men to do that? These two people were very, very different. Joshua had a big history of robbery. He had a big history of break-ins. He would go into families' homes. He would steal things, and then he would just sit and watch them breathe. He liked, in my opinion, he liked the thought of doing that. I think it was a control issue, but I think that this is probably the scariest thing that I have heard in a case in a long time. Because I cannot imagine being asleep and waking up and there is a man just watching you. Hayes and Joshua, and his last name is Komaskavetsky. It's a very long last name. They met in a treatment center for slugs, I'll say it like that, in 2006. Like I said before, both of these people had a very tough upbringing. It is said that Hayes' father left him and abandoned him, and then he also turned to slugs to relieve all of his pain. But I do believe that Josh was even scarier, and I truly believe that he was the mastermind in all of this. I think that he saw Michaela at that store the day before, and I think he knew right then what he was going to do. I think once he got in there, it went very south very fast, and he couldn't control it anymore. So that's why it ended so badly. But I do think he had a plan to do things to Michaela. These are both horrible, horrible people, and I'm so glad that they are where they are. This is a tough, tough case. This case is one where it's hard to think about. It's hard to wrap your mind around that people would do this. I'm just at a loss for words. You can watch a documentary based on this case. It, I believe, is on HBO. It's called The Cheshire. It's named after the town. So you can look that up and get some more information about this case. I think the hardest thing for me to deal with in watching the documentary and researching this was the police action, that they stayed out there for 30 minutes while all of this was happening. I am Sarah. I cover cases like this here on TikTok, but I also have a podcast and a YouTube channel called Code 187. I'm your true crime best friend, and I will see you later.